Welcome back to Modern Homestead Alaska. Today is my mom's last full day here in Alaska with me, and so I brought her to one of my favorite places, the Wasilla Farmers Market. So let's see what we can add to our pantry for long-term food storage. Join me today for Every Bit Counts. Welcome to our vlog. We are the Milnes family. We started building a modern homestead outside of Wasilla, Alaska in the summer of 2021. That's my husband, Aaron. I am Jessica, a stay-at-home wife and mom. Our second son, Caleb, lives here with us, along with our daughter, Cody Ann, and the youngest of our family, Wyatt. We brought our two dogs, Tipper and Daisy, and got a new addition, the Alaska dog, Roberto.
And maple.
Purple Heart is an actual wood?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's purple. See?
Look at that. I think that's just gorgeous.
I know. Hi. I do. Chilies, green beans. This is one of my favorite vendors. I buy so much produce from her. It is always the most beautiful produce. Okay.
That was so beautiful.
Choose your zucchinis then.
Well, if you do.
My mom is getting reindeer sausage. If you don't know what that is, it's an Alaskan thing and it's caribou. So she has never had it before. And if you come to Alaska, you do have to try it. It's rules. Rules is rules. My truck's yelling at me. Wow. While we waited on my mom's reindeer sausage, the weather took a change, not for the better. So it's already just starting to rain and not looking gorgeous all of a sudden. So we are headed now to the house and we'll see what we can get put away. I would like to do some dehydrating and maybe a few other things. So here we go. Let's go back to the house. I did get a funnel cake. I don't normally buy stuff like this here, but I wish y'all could smell this. It has powdered sugar and cinnamon sugar, and none of this is healthy. But I got some vegetables in the back and a beautiful item from the woodworking guy. And I can't wait to put it in my kitchen. So join me back at the house. Here we go. Okay, we're back at home. Something I wanted to show you that I need to get put in the fridge, but I want to show you before I do. These pickles we did a little while ago. It took them a little longer, and I don't know if it's because they're whole, but they are ready. I know that they're ready because Caleb opens them and taste tests them constantly. But when the water turns clear, you can be pretty sure that they're done. We have taste tested these. They're so yummy. They're so much more crunchy because they're the tiny little pickles. And then what I've decided to start doing is anything that is fermented that either has vinegar or a lot of salt. Okay, my camera shut off mid-sentence, but I'm gonna use these plastic lids, and it's so that the metal doesn't get ate up with the salt or the vinegar. So I popped off some lids while I waited for everything to turn back on. I look over here, all of that is fine. The bubbling, that's the gases and whatnot. But before I seal it up, I will scrape out of here anything like that, just onto a plate. That's not mold, there's nothing smelly. And then I'll reach in here, and here's the glass weight. Pull those out and wash those. And there we go. Look at that. It's a fermented pickle without, you want me to taste this? See, it's crunchy. It's amazing that no vinegar was used. And they're stinking amazing. But yeah, so I'm gonna pop lids on these and get them in the refrigerator. Okay, If you hear snoring, it's my super old lab, Daisy, and I'm sorry about that. I've tried to get her to like poop positions and stuff. She's so old, Wyatt doesn't even remember us getting her. We've had her that long. But the next thing we're working on, I'm gonna get this food saver open. I have this lid, yielding a knife apparently. This is what will go on the mason jars and suck all the air out. And in this dehydrator, I have some things that I wanna put in 1/2 gallons and continue to add to them as we dehydrate some stuff for soups this winter. And that is a good way, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, to get greens in our diet that either we grew or grew locally, totally organic, amazing ingredients to put in soup this winter. So I'm gonna get this guy open and we're gonna load some of this super dry, it's the leaves off of the kohlrabi, which have a very similar flavor to the most mild cabbage. And then it's celery, which I absolutely love in soup. So we're gonna get that processed. I don't know if it's gonna work. It doesn't hook on like the new one. I'm gonna be really frustrated if they made parts and pieces with their brand on it and it doesn't work together, but I'm not gonna be negative. We're gonna check it. So let's grind. This is the leaves from the kohlrabi that has a really, really mild cabbage flavor. And then it's also some celery that we are going to save for winter. Okay, this is the tip that comes with this. This is what the new tip looks like that goes in the sealer. It isn't working. I've got to do some research and maybe contact them, and I may even have to take this back or order new tops. I don't know what the case is, so that's fun and frustrating. So I'm going to clean up, pick all this up. I'll figure that out. I'll let you know how that ends up going. I'll just put lids on these for now. They're totally fine. They're nice and dry. And then I'm gonna dehydrate some jalapenos. So at least let's get something done. One of my viewers told me how to make this jalapeno salt, and so I am definitely trying it. I did kind of look it up on Pinterest to make sure I was doing everything right, and it says to just slice them, leave the seeds in if you want it hot, otherwise pull all of that out, but dehydrate your jalapenos. My mom is over there. If you saw her enter the video, she is trying to see if she can't get that to work, but let's see how many trays of jalapenos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 trays of jalapenos. What's left over there is kind of like funky. I wasn't 100% enthusiastic about the way they looked, so we will just eat those fresh. So from what I read online, I could be wrong, it says 165 for 8 hours. So there she blows. We'll check back on her tomorrow. I'm gonna clean all of this up before anyone gets it on their fingers and hands, and then we'll see what else we can tackle. Well, good news. My mom figured that out. That little black thing that I messed with for 20 minutes, I even shut off the camera to mess around with it. It does come apart, not easily, thank God, but we're fixing it. So what I've moved on to, and this is a first time for me, is I told you yesterday in the Costco video that I had gone back to Holy Living, and the lady is so helpful with grains and so on, and she wrote this little pamphlet, and I'm just going to share a little bit of the reason we're going to soak our grains, then dehydrate our grains, then grind our own grains into flour, is there's some main reasons. The purpose is that it aids in digestion, less bloating and allergy issues, magnifies the flavors and the textures, and explodes your nutrients. See the chart on the back. So here, I'll just give you an example. So an oat grain, the protein is 7.5. When you sprout the oat, it's 10.5. So that's 140% increase in the protein. Energy, fiber, so fiber 5.9 becomes 13.1. That's a 222% increase, and so on. So she's done an amazing job of breaking all of it down and sharing why. One of the other things is when you soak that whole grain, you use the apple cider vinegar, and it dissolves an acid. And it's like she said, it's God's natural pesticide that causes issues in our system. But it is what protects the grain. Now we want to strip that away before we start to try to digest it. What they have said, and I have no proof of this, but it is being widely accepted and talked about, that people who have, like, they're sensitive to gluten and grains, oftentimes if they'll follow this process, it really does help them. Now, if you have celiac disease, this will not cure that. You should not follow this. Ignore everything I'm saying and do what your doctor tells you to do. So those are two totally different things. But anything that can kind of help the system and the gut and all of those health and deal with allergies and so on, we of course want to do the best we can. So I have 3 half-gallon jars here. We're gonna fill them part way, cover them with water. I'll have you join me in doing that. Then tomorrow when we come back, we are going to rinse and dehydrate these, and then it's gonna take until the following day until we can actually grind them and try them. But let me walk you along the steps with me. We are learning this together. We are experimenting with this together. So I am brand new at this. If there's something I'm doing wrong or you have an input, please leave that in the comment section. I welcome any input on this, any knowledge, any science, any information that you have. Like I said, we're learning this together. So let's go. I did mess up on this one, and I used 3 cups of grain because I was talking to my mom. However, we're going to be just fine. Okay, so I'm gonna first just do 2 cups of grain in each one, and then kind of line them up and keep them separated. I have some fresh apple cider vinegar with the mother. So for a gallon, it said to use 1 tablespoon of vinegar, so I have a half tablespoon here. So let's get all 3 of the grains we're starting out with lined up. I just do 2 to 3 cups of the grain and then cover it generously with water, and then add the half a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Okay, I had to run out of the house and take Wyatt from practice to work. If anyone's wondering, because I do get questions about how much my husband and kids work, no one will be home before 10 o'clock at night. In fact, no one will be off of work before 10 at night. So yes, my mom and I are just hanging out, the 2 of us. Okay, what did you do?
I've already vacuum sealed all these, and I'm starting on this shelf here.
So she vacuum sealed all of these since she has it going. She's starting on this shelf. Everything that's kept in my pantry here, okay, all this is from Costco yesterday. That all needs to be decanted and vacuum sealed. But Mom, correct me if I'm wrong. You don't vacuum seal salt or sugar, correct?
You don't use oxygen absorbers with salt or sugar. You don't really need to vacuum seal them either, but it's oxygen absorbers, and I can tell you for a fact you don't do that because I did, and I ended up with several bricks of sugar.
Gotcha.
That I vacuum sealed. So anyway, that was live and learn.
Yeah.
But everything else I pretty much vacuum seal. I keep my vacuum sealer at home handy. So when I do open a jar, because I freeze dry food,
Right.
So when I open a jar, use some out of it, I instantly re-vacuum seal it so retains its freshness. But
Gotcha. So I'm going to choose to err on the side of caution because you don't need to vacuum seal or use oxygen absorbers. Anything that's salt or sugar, I'm not going to vacuum seal them. The other thing one of the viewers commented on was she had gotten some dry fruit from Azure. It was the cranberries. I didn't have droplets of water in my cranberries, but I'm curious because we did buy these yesterday and I opened them because I wanted to try them. These are pears and they are super moist and they're an organic. Let's read the ingredients here. They are pears and sulfur dioxide, so some sort of preservative. So I don't know. Would you, if your food was super, super moist like that, like totally playable, is this good? Or should you put that in the dehydrator for a little bit and let it go a little bit longer? Should you vacuum seal it? That's kind of new to me. And my mom, like she said, freeze dries that sort of stuff. So yeah, just a weird question. So we're going to get them in jars and deal with all of that tonight. But you know what I forgot? I forgot to show you what we got at the farmer's market. But really quick, my mom is going to show us, she fixed this for my frustrated self and has been going to town with it. While she does that, I'll show you the market, but here's how it works.
you do need to pull this out or it's really hard to get off.
It's hard to get off.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it, but I'll just show you. So basically, you put the attachment in here. It's really easy. I know you'll hear some people say that so if I take this out, then this pops off really easy. I always twist it off. I don't do a straight up because sometimes I double check my jars and that one's ready to go. So then all I do is, because some of these have been up there just a little bit, they have their own kind of little seal, so I'm just double checking. Put the lid straight down on, push this straight down in so I don't break it, because I have broken the little prong off of mine, but was able to fix it. Hit the button and let it go to town. It's really simple, but it does keep your food fresh, especially if you freeze fry food. I would suggest this for anybody who is freeze drying and putting it in jars. That's also why Jessica has the chamber vac, so that when she does get a freeze dryer, that chamber vac was one of the ones that will seal a Mylar bag, which is important. This will not seal a Mylar bag. I've tried it at my house. So the chamber vac gets out all that oxygen and seals the Mylar bag, and that's another reason why she went with that particular brand, because not all chamber vacs will seal a Mylar. So
Perfect.
That's what I'm going to keep doing.
All right, well, thank you, Mom. I am going to show you just a couple of things we got at the farmer's market today. Let me take you in the kitchen. Okay, here is what I got, and I try and buy some vegetables from each vendor. This is after yesterday. I have enough work to do and funds, but I do like to get myself a couple of fresh things here locally. So some fresh green and yellow beans, a little bit of salad for tonight. I got some of these green peppers and banana peppers, 2 cucumbers for the salad, some onions. The smell of this fresh garlic, it doesn't peel. Like, the skin of it is not papery. It is almost sticky. I have been peeling it and making the ferments and the pickles with it. You guys, the richness of just fresh, straight out of the ground garlic is like nothing I thought I could experience, and I'm a big garlic lover to begin with. Just 3 zucchinis. We're not going to be preserving them. We actually just love green zucchini, so I just slice them and roast them either in the oven or in a pan with a little bit of butter, garlic, salt, and pepper. And then this is a zucchini. At least that's what the lady said. It's not a pumpkin. And she says to cook it just like a zucchini. So you have got to try new things. Like, we love that. But The item that you're going to start seeing around the kitchen is handmade here by a local guy, and he was explaining what kind of woods these are, but this is an amazingly beautiful cutting board. Look at all the colors in it. Isn't that so pretty? So I'm super happy. I'm loving this item, and I just, here, excuse me, I'll switch up. I am just so blessed, and it runs all the way through on both sides. So amazing woodwork. It is food grade, like it is food grade oil finished on it, and we could use it as a cutting board, but seriously, my countertops, it's not gonna happen. This is just a really pretty piece to look at. So yeah, that's beautiful, something local. So, well, thank you those of you that stuck around to the end today. We enjoyed the farmers market, my last day with my mom. We have the dehydrator going. I have all of these jalapenos in there. We still got 6 hours left on that. We have this, we have grains soaking. Yeah, good, productive day. Got plenty done. So thank you for sticking around. If you haven't yet, would you consider hitting that subscribe button? When you ring the bell, you get notifications that we've posted a new video, and you won't miss anything that's happening around here. I do enjoy having all of you with me, and all of the comments and questions and the whole 9 yards. So if you would, tell me in the comment section, say hello if you're new, tell me where you're from, introduce yourself. I'll try and say hi back. And then also, if you will just let me know, what did you work on today? We can lift each other up, we can encourage one another, and just keep trucking along together, be on one team, one accord, and do the very, very best that we can. And last but not least, certainly not least, I do hope that you're blessed. I hope you find some blessings in your day and enjoy the time that you have with friends and family and whoever may be around you. Even if it's a lovely pet or a neighbor, whoever it is, I hope that you find some blessings in your day and enjoy the time with those that you get to spend time around. So have a wonderful day, and I will be back tomorrow. See you then.